Welcome to another exciting episode of the Insurance Untangled Podcast. My name is Ben Tuyene, and I'm one of your co-hosts for this podcast. And as you know, we've created this podcast and sort of dedicated it towards untangling dental practices from this whole world of insurance and all the complexities that come with that. Today, I have my dear friend Naren with us. Naren, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm having fun today, and I'm so glad we get to connect, Ben. So I'm doing great. And what about yourself?
Doing wonderful, thank you. And very excited to chat with you about the whole concept of a website, a good website versus a bad website. So the title for today's episode is, what is the difference between an effective website and a poor website? So here we go. So first question I have for you, Naren. This whole concept of a good website, what constitutes, or what are sort of the key elements that would constitute a good website for dental practice?
Yeah.
Or let me rephrase that. Let's back up a little bit and be a little bit more narrow, focus on just one component here. What does a practice website represent to the public?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a website is, a place people go to. Think of it like your home away from home, right? We all have that place. I guess Starbucks was one of those, businesses that was considered as your second home, right? A lot of people spend time there. Of course, Starbucks has changed since the pandemic, I think for the worse, but I'm talking pre-pandemic. I remember people having business meetings there. I remember people just going and working there, right? Like if you're in a new town and you have time to kill, you go to the Starbucks. So it became this home away from home. So your website is kind of, your real home is your practice, your four walls, your team, that whole experience. But then again, what about those who are not your patients yet? How do they get to know you without literally, coming into your office and like barging in, right? So that's your home away from home. So think about any good home, right? It has to serve a purpose, right? What is the purpose? The purpose is it helps people who are looking for the things you can do find you, right? That's the purpose, right? Imagine if a lot of people who go to Starbucks are not interested in coffees, but they want to have pizza, for example, right? And a lot of these people are walking into Starbucks, maybe not they're doing something wrong in their marketing because they're attracting people who want pizza when they don't even sell pizza. So are you attracting the right people who are looking for the services you offer? Even like the demographic, are you attracting the kind of people you want to serve? Like a lot of the practices that are, dropping PPO plans and becoming more relationship focused want to attract, people with money, want to attract people who want healthy mouth, beautiful smiles. So that's one of the purposes of the website. The second purpose is once I go there, let's say I'm looking for a healthy mouth, I'm looking to improve my overall health and I have some concerns, then is your website calming me down? Is your website helping me grow my confidence that you are the right person for me? You are the person who can help me go to that next level. Um, uh, Another example is, beautiful smiles, right? I don't like my smile, though maybe my crooked teeth, maybe the discoloration, maybe I'm missing a tooth here or there, and I just want a beautiful smile. Maybe I'm in my 40s and my kids are kind of in late 40s, early 50s. My kids are in university, and I can now spend on myself, on my health, on my smile, right? So when I go to that website and looking for a beautiful smile, do I have the cases to justify that this is the practice I should go to because they have helped people just like me create beautiful smiles? Do I get to like them? Because a lot of times people are making decisions before they even call your office, before they even walk in. So, perhaps having a video or two where you explain things in layman's terms, just coming across as, down to earth and accessible versus not, right? Not having a video versus somebody has that awesome video that I just described. A quick 45 seconds video will help them grow their confidence in you and choose your practice. So to summarize, I really think it's two things that a good website should do. One is attract the right people, right? You don't want pizza fans going to Starbucks if you're the Starbucks marketing team. And then the right people. So the ones who are looking for healthy smiles, healthy teeth, healthy mouth, and beautiful smiles, as well as are you convincing those people that, hey, let's go ahead and do something? Anyways, I hope that answered your question.
No, I like that. I think these days when businesses think about the business in general, one of the first things we think of is, well, we need a website, right? And a lot of times I think business owners don't really carefully think about, well, what is the purpose? What should our website represent, right? And naturally, you get a lot of websites that are good websites, but they're not great, right? In terms of the target customer base that you're going after. In this case, a dental practice is targeting patients, right, for certain types of procedures that you do. So next question I have for you, Naren, is what differentiates a good website from a great website?
Yeah, this is a wonderful question. And I think we humans do this a lot, in all walks of our lives. Like, for example, we do what we are comfortable with, right? So a lot of doctors, when they are quote unquote developing a website, they are developing it for themselves and the people who they are in their inner circle, maybe their spouse, maybe somebody in their team they respect. They're asking them, what do you think? What do you think? And of course, they're going to look at it from the doctor's point of view, and they're going to answer that question from the doctor's point of view. Imagine, you're running a company and you have an awesome CFO, accountant type, right? Bean counter, all about numbers. And you ask him or her, how should, let's say the bean counter for Ritz-Carlton, you ask the bean counter for Ritz-Carlton, what would you do? Obviously, his answer is going to be, get rid of all the nice things at Ritz-Carlton because it's all costing us money. And, we should have like cheap carpet, cheap flooring. Let's sell this building for $100 million. It's such an expensive building. Let's buy this down the road for $20 million because it has all the cheap stuff, right? Now, that's the wrong thing to do. So a lot of times I find practice owners just looking at things from their perspective, like, oh, I need things said this way because that's how I would say it. I need things done that way because that's how I would do it, right? Just like I used that bean counter example as to how he or she thinks about things. We all have biases, right? But the effective ones, get into the mindsets of the customer, understand the customer. It's not like they're not selling dentistry to themselves, they're selling or to their peers. So a lot of times doctors are more concerned about what their peers are thinking. So I would hear, oh, I like this famous doctor on his website and I want mine to look like that. Oh, I like that other person who drives his expensive car, and because he drives his expensive car or has his expensive office, maybe they're doing something right that I'm not doing. So I want my website to look like that. So we have all these biases that are kind of taking us down the wrong road. So for example, many of these conversations I've had with, new clients, they'll be like, oh, I love that website. But then I'm like, they're not ranking for anything. Remember, I said the two goals of the website. One is, are the right people coming to you, which is what you want? And then B, once they come there, are they choosing you? So a website that doesn't rank on Google, that doesn't attract the right people, it's a useless website. So we have this website we look up to because it's linked to that guy with that $200,000 car, or it's linked to that lady who I think is an awesome dentist because she's giving clinical presentations or whatever. But she's not doing the things that's achieving these two goals. Are the right people finding that website, and are they being influenced by that website? So that's where I think we get a lot of quote unquote good in the sense the people looking at it think, yeah, it's good because they're biased and they're using. I gave you two examples of how that happens. So forget about that. Start with the end in mind, like Stephen Covey said, right? Start with the end in mind. Your goal is to attract the right people to your website, and then your goal is to convince them to call your office and book an appointment. So look at everything through that lens. How is this website attracting the right people? Is it ranking for the right keywords? What are the keywords? If it's not, then I don't want to copy that website. It's just going to take me down this rabbit hole where I just get stuck somewhere. Or yes, it is ranking, but it's not convincing people to pick up the phone and call them. So again, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and end up nowhere. So be careful with this. I also have seen people just, not letting a website go live because every time they ask for an opinion, everybody has a different opinion and we go around in circles. So you're creating this beautiful house that perhaps will deserve to be on a magazine, but how many of us care about, being on a magazine for beautiful homes? We just want a nice home to live in and that's useful, and we can, have the life that we want with our families and friends, right? So focus on that. Like, what is your purpose, right? Same way here. What is your purpose? So that's where I see a lot of quote unquote good in the eyes of practice owners, especially dental practice owners, turning out to be not so good. Now, we work specifically with small practice owners, not DSOs. So these are like dentists who built their own practice. So these are things we really work with them on and coach them, because we also have seen on the other side doctors who become extremely effective at being able to start with the end in mind and stay focused. And we have 10 plus year relationship with those kind of doctors. So it just becomes magical once everyone is aligned on the goals.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. You know what? You mentioned a couple of things that kind of sparked a couple of questions in my mind as it pertains to patient experience. I think on a lot of your episodes with Gary, you talk about building a relationship-based type of practice, right? My question is can that start with your website, especially for new patients, right? So in other words, what makes for a great patient experience in terms of people coming to your website? And is that something that people even consider or even talk about? Patient experience when they're on, like, what is their experience when they go on your website? Is that important?
Absolutely. So remember, I said there are two goals for a website. Are the right people coming to it? And then B, once they get there, are they choosing you, right? So patient experience to me is the second part. You know, once they get there, like the right people at the door. So I want a coffee and I'm at the Starbucks, is my menu the right menu that they're interested in? Is it lit? Do they like the customer experience? Do they like the cleanliness? Remember, Starbucks doesn't sell $1 coffees. Everything there is expensive. So the people who are coming there, do they appreciate those things? The quality, yeah, it takes time at a Starbucks to get a coffee as opposed to some other places are much faster, but I want that experience. So the experience is critical. So let's just break it down. I kind of alluded to some of the things that you may want to do. So, for example, let's say you are focusing on a practice, meaning your goal is to create, help elevate the oral health of your patients. So you might do a lot of education in that kind of a website. Perhaps you might want to highlight some of the special training you have around specific things, because the people who are looking for the best, who are looking to come to the right doctor who can take them to that next level, want to see that. So for example, another thing you can do is, we all want people who are winners. So if you have won any awards, are you highlighting those on your homepage? Are you highlighting those in your About the Doctor page? So there's a lot of things you can do to get people to feel confident in you, trust you overall, and also to position you. And I was giving you the example of oral health focused practice, right? Educational videos. So do simple videos where you're talking about certain things. Like I have clients who are very much into airway, airway dentistry. I have clients who are focused into minimally invasive dentistry and so forth, right? So highlight those expertise. Some even go as far as doing videos or podcasts on that particular topic to position themselves as the expert in that health related topic. Um, let's say you're catering to beautiful smiles, right? Like, so you really want to build a practice around Invisalign, implants, full mouth rehab, reconstruction, and so forth. Have pages dedicated to those things, right? So if I'm looking for Invisalign, have a dedicated page that is ranking for Invisalign. Whatever keywords they type in related to Invisalign, you show up. And once people go there, meaning you're ranking and they go there, do you have those cases? Do you have 6, 7, 8 cases of all kinds of people you might want to attract? Young people, older people, male, female, different skin tones, different ages. Because now I'll see someone like me and I'm like, okay, I need the same thing. I want this thing that I can wear while I go to work because it's colorless. Nobody will notice it, etc. Right? So you really need to keep fine tuning your marketing to attract those people. So cases are really good. Showing different people of different ages, skin colors, male, female is really good, because then I'll find someone that looks like me. And also even same kind of videos, short videos saying something like, hey, hello, welcome to my, implant page. I'm so glad you're here. Look at some of the work I have done. I've been doing implants for the last 15 years. Here is the special, these are the kind of special training I have. Call my office. Just like I've helped create, awesome outcomes for the patients you see on the website and more. My team and I would love to help you, come in for a consultation. So
Yeah.
that kind of a website really convinces them, because of the cases, because of all the write-ups and the pictures, and obviously the videos. One of the quick tip. I really like full face after pictures, and I know a lot of doctors haven't been doing that. Remember, we try to, be biased. So a lot of times you have the close up, which a dentist will appreciate, but not the end consumer. The end consumer is looking for that after smile that you can show with a full face after picture. So really, really focus on that. Again, we teach techniques on how to get these, full face after pictures. It's really, really easy. Most patients, if you explain it correctly, have no problem in showing the amazing, beautiful smile you created for them, especially the after full face picture, because they want you to do great work. So they love the fact that you're going to do great work and then highlight the great work you did. You just have to know how to position it so that they agree to, letting you take that full face after picture. So, you have to really focus on patient experience if you want to, do really well with, marketing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think there's a lot of merit with what you said in terms of patient experience and all that, and your website helping to contribute so that when people come to the practice, they sort of have that good experience that continues on. Last thing I want to ask you, Naren, is regarding websites and keywords. As you know, in dentistry, not everybody does implants, not everybody does endo or ortho. So there's a lot that you could rank for in terms of keywords. Should your website, speak to me about the right thing you should do as it pertains to being ranked for the right keywords and not just any keyword?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a great question. And every one of our clients, after their website goes live, gets a monthly report. In that monthly report, we highlight how many keywords they're ranking for on page 1, meaning the top 10 results, and how many keywords they're ranking for in the top 3 results. And we don't stop there. We give them that full list. And we'll give them the list of keywords that are ranking in the top 10 and all the ones that are not ranking in the top 10 just yet. Maybe they're position number 11, maybe they're position number 12. So there'll be hundreds and hundreds of keywords. So the first tip is don't invent it. I know a lot of doctors get caught up on keywords they make up just because they heard somebody else say it, or just because, quote unquote, their common sense told them that. Don't believe in common sense. Remember, we live in a data-driven world. Google is run by PhDs in computer science. These are all number crunchers and data people. So look at the data. They give you all the data. It's all through Google Analytics. Obviously, you need to grab it and put it in a format that's easy to understand. So we do that, for example, through the monthly report for our clients. Now, there are 3 types of keywords: short tail keywords, medium tail keywords, and long tail keywords. Short tail is, like dentist near me. Those are short tail. Medium tail could be dentist in NYC, dentist NYC, a dentist NYC, New York. Those are kind of medium tail. Long tail is very descriptive. Best dentist for root canal in NYC. That's an example of, long tail. The beauty of Google Analytics is when we pull up this report through our monthly report, they can see, okay, for example, best dentist for root canal in NYC, 300 people typed it in, or 320 people typed it in, and your average position is, I'm making this up, 14.7. So you're not ranking on page 1 yet, but it's getting up there. So you're starting to move up. So now that's a great keyword to work on. Why? Because it's very relevant. It's let's say you're doing root canals and you're an endodontist and you really want to be seen as the best dentist for root canal in NYC. And the people who are going to look for the best will appreciate quality. And maybe that's who you are. You really focus on quality and you have extensive knowledge and experience. Now, that's amazing, right? Like, you're not running an ad because everybody knows anybody can buy an ad. They trust you because you're ranking very highly for that very specific keyword. Dentist near me, right? If you're a general dentist, yeah, you want to work towards it. Now, in this case, one of the tricks you have to keep in mind is Google will give you 2 metrics. One is how many people typed that keyword in the last 30 days. The second metric is what's your average position. So things like dentist near me, your average position might be lower. It might be more like 9. Why? Because if, let's say, the person who typed in dentist near me was 100 miles from you, you might show up at the bottom of the list because there are other dentists nearer to them than you were. So Google is going to show them first. I know it's not fair or it's not something you want, but Google thinks about the customer, the user. So you might be showing up at the bottom. So in those cases, your rankings might be a lot less, but keep that in mind for any keywords where there's no city name. that can happen. Like depending on how far you are, like near me, just the regular keyword without anything, it can happen. But you still want to go after them, but because it's a numbers game, right? If out of the 290 people who saw you for dentist near me, half of them saw you near the top, that's worth it, right? Because now as a general dental practitioner, everybody who's looking for a dentist knows you exist and so forth. So those are some of the things you need to really focus on. So one of the things we do is we create quarterly plans. So every quarter after the website goes live, we work with the clients to figure out what keywords they're ranking for, what they're not, what they want to work on, so we can constantly make it better and better. So you just think of it like targeting your firepower, targeting your marketing hours, targeting your marketing activities for specific things. And I've had clients who will say, scale back. I thought I needed a lot of emergency patients, but I'm just too busy. So guys, I don't want to lose it. So don't kill it, just let it be, but don't put your efforts into it. Focus on something else. So you also have to keep in mind, these have to change with your changing needs of your practice.
Yeah, no, that's excellent, Naren. I really appreciate you kind of going through this world of keywords. I didn't know that there are 3 different categories: short term, or short tail, medium tail, and long tail. That kind of makes perfect sense, and probably the reason why a lot of people get a struggle with keywords, because they don't get the right advice. And what you gave is excellent. As our listeners know, if you've listened to our podcasts for the last couple of years, we do offer the marketing strategy meeting as one of the perks. You go to insuranceuntangledcom/marketing strategy meeting. As you talk about these marketing concepts, it's a good idea that if you have questions, is to do one of those. It's complimentary. And Naren, can you briefly give any new listeners just a quick rundown of what this marketing strategy meeting is designed to give them?
Absolutely. The link again is insuranceuntangledcom/MSM for marketing strategy meeting, insuranceuntangledcom/MSM. So this meeting is all about helping you find out how well you are doing with marketing. So think of it like getting an in-depth analysis and a report card. And then, of course, we'll go through all the things we learned, the good, the bad, the ugly. So you can keep doing the good and, of course, work on the bad and the ugly. And then, obviously, we'll give you a 12-month plan on how do you take your marketing to the top 5% level. So regardless of where you are, how do you move to that top 5% bucket? Because just like anything else, the ones in the top 5% share a disproportionate part of the benefits. Like, I mean, you know this, right? Top 1% of America controls more than half the wealth in America, right? So obviously, like, there's a lot of advantages for being in the top 5% of your peers when it comes to marketing. So we'll also give you a plan on how to do that. So it's a very detailed plan, a 12-month plan. We get into the nuances, like literally like 14 different things we look at. So it's a great exercise. You learn a ton. Whether you take action or not, it's awesome place to start. Because, if you don't know where you are, and if you don't know how to get to where you want to go, then how do you get there, right? So definitely start with that and then go from there. insuranceuntangledcom/MSM.
Really appreciate that, Naren. What a great episode, packed full of wonderful information. So thank you for sharing your thoughts as well as your wisdom and expertise with the listeners today. And for those of you that are on today, thank you for joining us on another amazing episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to share this with your friends on social media. And we also appreciate reviews. So take time to review us. That helps other doctors find our content and who we are and who we're all about. You can check us out again at insuranceuntangledcom for future webinars, which we do quarterly. And of course, any freebies that we are going to offer in the near future. Until we meet again, thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.